What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I said I was not gonna do it, and I did. I can't keep my promise with these videos. I don't know what it is. I just can't. But today, by the thumbnail and title, you guys probably know today is the part 1 of the huge pond build. Not the big pond, we already have that. Today is the huge pond build. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'm gonna show you guys what is going down right now. My dad's friend is over here, and the pond is gonna be this entire area over here. As you guys remember, the liner's over there. And here he is with the backhoe. I pretty much showed my dad how I want to outline. It's gonna be this whole area right here. And what he's gonna do, so we don't have to take all this dirt out, is he's gonna pick it up and put it on the side so we can build it up so that he doesn't have to dig so deep too. Now you guys can get an overview kind of how we're doing this. This is gonna be where the waterfall is up here. We're gonna have a berm going around the whole thing, and this is like the semi-deepest part right here. Out in the middle is gonna be deeper than this right here. And you guys can see how deep it is. It's probably around 2.5, 3 feet right there. Probably 3 feet at the deepest part over here. But this is what we got done so far. Brown. You guys are gonna love this pond. Also, as you guys know, these big rocks are called cap rocks, and they're gonna be used for part of the waterfall and to go around the pond also. Whichever one we decide to do, probably the waterfall. Look at Whiskey. What are you doing? So as you guys can see, it's not shallow. Whiskey was all the way down in here drinking the water because this is all irrigation water for the yard. I'm sure you guys can get a view of where we're going with this. They're stopping to go get the bobcat, and he doesn't normally do ponds. He does pools, as you guys can tell. If you guys need a pool and you live in somewhere around like Palm Beach County, call this guy. Look how deep it is. I showed you guys before, my dog was in here. This is probably 3.5, not quite 4 foot, but it's gonna be a little bit deeper in the middle probably, right out here. And then it's gonna go back up just like how this is over here. But let me tell you, my fish are gonna absolutely love this pond. This is only about half of it. Half of it is dug, and it is this big. Got dirt everywhere. Huge mound over here. This is what they're getting the bobcat for, so they can move this around. This is ridiculous. Whiskey, go, go, come on, come on. All right, so the last time I picked up this camera, it looked totally different. I'm gonna show you guys in just 1 second, but I wanted to just talk and say that thank you guys for sticking around here. It seriously means a lot to me. I like picking this camera up when I feel comfortable. I don't want to force myself to do anything. I want to film when I'm happy or when I'm in the mood to do it, because a lot of times when I used to pick up the camera, I wasn't fully in the mood and I would force myself to get into this stage where I didn't like. And it just feels a lot better when I want to pick up the camera when I want to do it, not just to make you guys happy. I know it makes you guys happy when I upload and everything, but I've been trying to focus on myself for the past few months. But this is what the pond looks like now. We cleared out a bunch of this stuff, brought this over here, trimmed up some of the trees that were around the pond, and this is what we're looking at now. Supposedly this is about 12,000 gallons roughly, depending on where we're gonna set the skimmer and everything. But we added rocks in there so the water can seep through and get sucked out through there. You guys probably remember there was just a whole bunch of piles of dirt, and like only half of the pond was dug the last time I picked up this camera. But I've been trying to get all of the berm even, as you guys can see. Most of it is even, and just this side over here isn't because the pump's over here. I'm gonna have to fix that once, you know, we start moving this stuff around a little bit more. So Poes Pool Preps really did help me out a ton on this project. It's not over yet. I have to really get this thing finished, and I have to start by putting stuff underneath where the liner is going to be so none of the roots or anything penetrates the liner and we have leakage problems. Like you guys remember the old big pond? Wow, we had a lot of leakage problems over there. So this is just part one of the huge pond project. I'm probably gonna have roughly 2 to 3 parts depending on everything and when everything comes in the mail. But this right here, it sucks out all of the water that comes into here. It's crazy how we set this thing up. I wish I had a video of it so I could show you guys. And so if any of you guys are building a pond, you guys could do it also. But he basically has PVC that runs underneath here with holes in it and a cap at the end, and it goes up, and this will suck out any of the water that's in here. There's literally no water in here, and it's been raining almost every single day. And we're even in the water pocket, which means that this thing sucks out water that comes from the ground. And in Florida, if you guys live here, you know if you guys get deep enough, water is everywhere. We also have the irrigation that ran through here that broke, that my dad had to put down in the ground and have a reset to one of the corners and everything. But I really do think that we're gonna leave this in here. We're just gonna push it back more towards the wall, so if we have any problems with the liner or anything, we can drain it out super easily, which is gonna be a huge plus. If it ever does start to leak or anything like that, we can just drain it out, take all of the fish out, and put them back in the other pond while we refix this. So I don't think we're gonna do anything with the fish until we are 100% positive that nothing is gonna leak and everything. And I also wanted to give you guys the dimensions so you guys can get an idea of how large this pond actually is, because it is huge. It is roughly 35 feet from that side, not counting the berm, to this side. This is where the waterfall is gonna be, by the way. That's why we have that big berm right there. And then it's roughly 16 to 18 feet across and around 4.5 feet deep at its deepest part, which is great because this pond is not going to get as cold as my other ponds would during the winter time. All right, so we pretty much got the first roll out. I just put that blue tarp underneath there for extra support, but this right here is gonna block it from any of the extra roots, any of the extra rocks, anything of that sort. And that pretty much is just gonna save me a couple $1,000 if this liner does decide to take a poop. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna set my camera on top of this big ladder right here, put it underneath a tree so you guys can still watch me, but the camera does not get wet. Oh, well, what do we have here? It rained the entire rest of that day, and then I came out the next day to come and try to work on it, and the entire pond was full of water because the pump stopped and it lost its prime and everything. But today, here I am, and I did probably 85% of the pond with my dad, and we lined it up with all of that underlayment. So you guys get a good view of what it's gonna look like with a liner in it. This is pretty much what it's gonna look like. It is ridiculous, and this pond is gonna be enormous, like I've been saying this whole time. I think this is gonna be the end of part 1, and I will see you guys in part 2. I'm gonna be trying to post these back to back to back, and I'm not gonna release this for probably a week or 2, just as I'm trying to finish off the rest of the pond. But peace out. I will see you guys next time in part 2.